Who was Walter White, also known as the drug kingpin Heisenberg? What were his 3 most powerful quotes? And what can we learn from his meteoric rise and fall? Walter White, also known as Heisenberg, was a fictional character in one of the 21st century's greatest television shows, Breaking Bad. We see an extremely normal, mundane high school chemistry teacher who is gripped by lifelong underachievement. He's also burdened with great intelligence and has never been able to do anything with it. He receives a life-changing diagnosis when he finds out that he has terminal lung cancer and only has a short time to live. Inundated with fear and guilt for leaving his family with insurmountable and crippling debt, he devises a plan to finally put his genius to use. He does not do this by curing cancer. He does this by using his chemistry knowledge to create the most potent formula for the drug methamphetamine ever created. This product he creates is the most pure product and takes the market by storm. In a very short period of time, Walter's life spirals into chaos as he rises through the underworld to an almost mythic status, becoming known as the Great Heisenberg. A part of him revels in this, but the moral man in him hates himself for what he has brought upon his family, and in essence does the exact opposite of what he sets out to do. He indeed provides more money than his family could ever want, but at the same time losing them in the process and becoming a wanted fugitive. We will look at his 3 most powerful quotes to see just how the most normal of men can break bad later in life. If the circumstance is dire enough, we will see what we can learn from his mistakes and grapple with the saying, does crime truly pay? Is it worth it in the end? And would we do the same thing if we could? Quote number 1, say my name. This could be the most famous quote from the show. This is an example of how one tiny phrase can light your senses on fire. With this quote, Walter has now completely made the transformation into Heisenberg. He no longer holds the moral imperatives Walter once did, and he does not care. He revels in the destructive nature of his deeds to get where he is, and he wants everyone who he is dealing with to know his name, know his persona, and know his fame. This is the departure from the normal, everyday family man into the monster, the being who does not care who he hurts, as long as he continues to consolidate his nefarious. We see this in today's modern world more than any other time, because sometimes it seems that everyone wants to be famous, and people will do the most ludicrous things to achieve it. They will shame themselves, their families and their ancestors 10 times over for the money and notoriety, whether positive or negative, that comes with the fame. In a world where one ridiculous video or act can make you go viral and bring you fortune and fame without truly earning it, as in days of yore, people's morals and scruples are in the toilet. Don't get me wrong, there are many people who still adhere to the old ways of self-respect, dignity, and not selling your sense of self for fast cash and fame. It may also seem that there may be a shift happening where people are waking up to the nonsense and wanting to put stock in talent, hard work, and proper framing of oneself. Well, we can only hope, right? Number 2. I am the danger. With this quote instantly comes another from the same statement. I am the one who knocks. In this quote, Walter is telling his wife Skylar who he truly is when she questions his commitment to this character. She tells him she thinks he is really afraid, and this could be a cry for help. He immediately barks back by telling her in a manner to maybe impress her a bit that he is the problem. He is the menace to society. He is the one who does the dirty deed, not the one who the deed is done to. This scares Skylar to her core, because she realizes she does not know this man. She did not marry this version of Walt. He just could not help himself. I believe he wanted to impress upon her, not to be scared, that he has the power. He is the nucleus at the center of the atom, and without him, the whole NASDAQ level operation could crash. I think this side of Walter shows a side of us that we all try to keep hidden. But every once in a while we want to let the ones we love truly know who they are dealing with. Trying to scare and impress at the same time by playing the hard role. It seems nowadays all of us are just one bad day away from doing this, revealing our worst selves, so that we can feel some semblance of power and control in our lives. Number 3. I'm in the empire business. In this powerful quote, Walt speaks his life goals to his partner Jesse, which he has the most tumultuous father-son type relationship with. He's saying that he missed his opportunity earlier in life on giving his family what they truly deserve, the legal way. He's saying he gave their birthright away for a small payout, and now he has a chance to make right on this. He could have been part of the business he started, which is now worth billions, and the fact that he let that go makes him utterly bitter and kills this man inside every day. Building this illegal empire is now his chance to do the novel thing he set out to do with his previous company, using his talent and intelligence to spawn something that no one else can imagine, let alone have the capability to accomplish. This speaks to that part in all of us that wishes we could reach our full potential in life. But so many of us will never truly get there because we try to adhere the fulfillment of that potential to what others believe success is. Maybe not everyone is meant for greatness, but greatness is also a very relative thing to different people. It is what moves you in life. Most people in the modern world consider the almighty dollar and possessions to be the height and only measure of success, but success is gauged differently depending on what moves you as a person. For example, a Buddhist monk meditating in the mountains of Tibet does not care about your cars, your clothes and your money. He is more impressed by a man who can sit in true meditation for hours without fail, just like Siddhartha Gautama Buddha. To him, this is true success and extraordinary greatness, but to most that would be considered broke and pointless. This is the battle between what most people think and the few people who can see past the nonsense and attain true happiness in the simple doing of what they love, because then you can never lose your success in life. It will always be with you. If we can learn from this that we are all in the empire business, we only need to realize that your empire may not be the same as others. Having the courage to dream of your own empire, not caring about others, because an empire that will never fall or decay is possible. That empire is called happiness. These are 3 powerful quotes from Walter White, which I believe sum up the man and the myth perfectly, and can show us as individuals to take our own path, but do so with caution and conscience. Walter also said constantly throughout the show that he was doing this for his family, but he finally broke down at the end and admitted he did all this for himself. He liked it, enjoyed it, and was good at it. He ended up with nothing, a dying man possibly figuring out a way to get his last bit of money to his family when he is gone. He had lost everything and finally died surrounded by the chemistry equipment he loved. His rise and fall was obvious, because this is what we see from a very bright spark. It burns out quickly, and doing these types of behaviors, you can get away from the danger with luck on your side a few times, but eventually the sheer risk will catch up with you in some way, as it did with Walter. Even though fictional, the transformation from Walter into Heisenberg shows us that we are all vulnerable to this, especially those of us who have gifts to give the world, but because of bad luck, excuses, or lack of trying, have not used these gifts in ways that fulfill what others deem as successful. Which is why I believe, have your own definitions in life. If you believe that doing a deed for the pure love of that deed is success enough, even if it generates 0 income, then that is your triumph, and anyone who does not get that is not a person you want to surround yourself with. At the end of the day, it is your life, so live it how you want, as Walter did, even if that means figuring it out when it is too late, or rising and falling many times. You can say that you pulled a Heisenberg, have your own ideas of success, and if they follow your own moral, ethical, and legal code, then that is your empire. Do what Walter White did, and use your intelligence and skills to make something novel and unique. But don't do what Heisenberg did and hurt others in the process, because in becoming great, if you lose everyone and everything who would revel in your success, what is the point? So be good, break bad, and leave those who don't understand behind. Simply tell them, say my name.